Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video, guys, I'm bringing you guys an updated tier list. I already did an updated version for the latest, Genshin Impact update. But guys, as it turns out, a lot of you were unhappy with that tier list because I didn't put your characters where you wanted them to be. So you know what? I decided I'm gonna remake my tier list from scratch completely, and no one can disagree with this. Literally nobody can disagree with this tier list because overall, it's the truth. Guys, this isn't my opinion at this point. This is just straight up how strong the characters are. So starting off, we have Zhongli. Now, Zhongli, as all of you guys know, is an amazing support. Now not as a main DPS, which he can be. He's a pretty viable main DPS. I've seen a couple videos on that, but his E as his shield is ridiculous. SS tier, guys. His E shield is absolutely insane, and his ultimate deals so much damage. So because of that, we're putting him in the SS tier. Next up is Kaya. Now, before the 1.2 update, I wouldn't say he's a main DPS unit. Of course, you can use any of these characters as a main DPS unit, but he's a ridiculous cryo support unit. He's able to apply cryo status almost constantly. So because of his amazing support ability, we're going to be putting him in the SS tier as well. So far we already have 2 characters in the SS tier. I know what you're thinking. Surely there's not going to be that many more. But guys, hang on. We're not done yet, because next up we have Ningguang. And Ningguang deals so much damage. As a main DPS unit, her elemental skill can block enemy projectiles, and she just puts out ridiculous amounts of damage. So because of that, we're going to be putting her in the SS tier as well. Next up, guys, we have Venti. Now, Venti, his E does a lot of damage, and his Q does a lot of damage as well. So his elemental skill and his elemental burst both do insane numbers, and you can just spam his Q ability and it gathers together all the enemies. And I mean, basically all 5 stars are SS tier, but we're going to be putting Venti in the SS tier as well. Next up, guys, we have Qiqi. We're going to be moving right along through all of these characters, guys. Next up, we have Qiqi, an amazing healer, applies the cryo effect, which is one of the strongest elements in the game. She's just absolutely crazy as a healer. You can even use her as DPS. I've seen people use her as a DPS before. Overall, just an insane healer, guys. I really recommend using her on our team. SS tier. Next up, Fischl. SS tier, man. You can use her as a main DPS. You can use her as an Electro support unit. Her E ability, you just have to place it down, and Oz does all the work for you, man. He applies the Electro status constantly, and her Q deals ridiculous amounts of damage as well. And I'm currently trying to make her as a main DPS, as a physical damage DPS, and she's already doing absolutely insane, and I don't even have the proper artifacts for her yet. Next up, guys, is Sucrose. She's an Animo Catalyst user, and she deals numbers. She's basically like a takedown of Venti in my eyes. Very similar. Her and Venti are very similar. She's a Catalyst, he uses a bow, but her E ability and Q ability, you can just spam them, and they just gather together all the enemies, and they just deal so much damage. So, next up, we have Child, SS tier. The reason why I'm putting Child in the SS tier as well is because of his swords. His Hydro swords deal so much damage, especially if you have a Hydro damage goblet. It deals so much extra damage. And overall, he's just a really strong unit. No one can argue with that. Everybody knows Child's broken, and especially with the new artifact sets that are going to be coming out basically directly for him, he's just going to be even more broken. Next up, guys, we have Klee. SS tier, man. Now, she is pretty difficult to use, but when you learn how to use her, her E ability and Q ability deal so much damage. She gets such insane numbers as a main DPS, and you can even use her as a pyro support if you want. She deals so much damage, guys. So I really recommend using Klee if you have her. Insane numbers. Next up, guys, we have Razor. Now, Razor is absolutely ridiculous, especially as a physical damage dealer. He deals so much physical damage. So because of how high the numbers he has, we're going to be putting him in the SS tier, especially his ultimate ability just does so much damage, man. Now, Lisa, I went back and forth, guys, between SS and S, but we're going to be putting her in the SS tier. Lisa gets a lot of hate. I think she's a little bit underrated. I've seen her being used as a main DPS before, and I've also seen her as an insane support unit. Especially with her ultimate, it'll constantly apply the Electro status on your enemies, so you'll be getting a lot of elemental reactions out of her. Next up, guys, we have Barbara. She's a really good healer, especially as a 4-star unit. She offers a lot of healing support, and some people even use her as a main DPS. I don't recommend it, but she does do her job really well as a main healer. Now, Xiangyang, as of 1.1, he's not SS tier main DPS, but he is SS tier as a support unit. Until the 1.2 update releases and the cryo set comes out for him, he's not going to be a main DPS, but as of now, he's already an absolutely insane support unit. He basically has cryo on the field 90 to 95% of the time. He's ridiculous, guys. So because of that, we're going to be putting Xiangyang in the SS tier list. Next up, guys, Xiangling. I'm going to be putting her in the SS tier, and here's why. Even though her bear is a little bit difficult to use, as a physical damage user with the Crescent Pike, you can put that on her, and she does so much physical damage. You can use her as a main TPS, and she's free in the Spiral Abyss. So that is crazy in and of itself. She's already a free-to-play character, and her Q ability is just absolutely insane. Always applying the pyro effect, always dealing so much damage. So we're going to be putting Xiangling in the SS tier. Next up, Xingyang. Now we're going to be putting her in the SS tier as well. The reason why is because of her shield. Her shield offers so much support, and you can block out so much damage. It's ridiculous, and she just puts out so much damage, especially as a pyro user. So you can get rid of a lot of, you can get a lot of vaporize and get rid of the water effects in some domains, which is also extremely nice. Next up, guys, we have Beidou, and I didn't last time on our list we put her in the B or C tier. She's way better than that, guys. She's so underrated. With her shield, her counterattack deals so much damage. Her Q ability is similar to Kaya's in the way that it functions, where it's basically just applying the cryo effect, around her and a small AoE, but it still deals so much damage. So being able to constantly keep people with Electro, especially as a main DPS, she deals really good damage, and I really recommend that you use her if you have her. Next up is Noelle. Now, I don't really like Noelle, but I can realize and appreciate how strong she is. People use her as a main DPS, and with her Q ability, I can totally understand that because all of her damage is going to be converted over to Geo, which is absolutely ridiculous. Also, her shield is extremely strong. So if you have Noelle and you want to build her, I can completely understand that, and I recommend it. Next up is Diona. Last time on our list, I didn't have her up very high, but we're going to be putting her in SS tier, even though I don't use her that much, because I can't build all of these characters. I mean, heck, I don't even have all of these characters, but Diona offers a really good shield. She's able to put the cryo effect, and she's a bow user, so what more can you ask for? She's an excellent healer. If you have both of her and Barba, and you want to use either one of them, they're both extremely good. If you want to use Diona and sub her out for Barba, you can as well. So she's a really good healer. Next up is Jean. I feel like she's an excellent main DPS. I've seen people use her as a main DPS, and I've also seen people use Jean as a great healer. She does both. She does a little bit of everything, and that's why I think Jean is SS tier. She can do anything that you want her to do. She's very flexible. Next up is Keqing. You can use her as a electro damage dealer or a physical damage dealer. I prefer electro, but the fact that you can spam her E and constantly blink everywhere across the map is insane, and all your damage is going to be converted into electro after that. So she is extremely strong. Especially with her Q. Once you ascend her high enough, she is going to be getting that extra crit rate, which means that once you build her crit damage, she's going to be doing insane numbers. One of the strongest characters in the game, in my opinion. Next up, guys, we have Diluc. This goes without saying. Nobody can disagree that he's SS tier, man. He does so much damage. He just puts out ridiculous numbers, man. Especially Pyro, being a Claymore user. He just does Pyro attack after Pyro attack after Pyro attack. He does out so much damage. His Q ability is broken. About 90% of the damage that Diluc does is Pyro. So, if you have Diluc, man, and you're watching this, you might want to use him because he's ridiculous. Next up, guys, we have Traveler. Usually, to how I feel about him, I would be putting him down one of these two, but I can appreciate people that use him because he is an excellent main DPS. He's very flexible with the elements that he can manipulate, so he's a very strong character if you want to build him. He does start you off, he's completely free to play friendly, and he's really strong, so if you want to use the Traveler, I completely understand that. Next up, guys, we have Bennett. Now Bennett, Constellation 0, already broken, already SS tier support. Constellation 1, he's like SSS tier support because, man, he just heals so much and he boosts all of your damage so high. And once you get him Constellation 1, it's not based off of his max HP. His Q ability, his elemental burst is what makes him so strong. So if you have Bennett and you need a really good healer, I highly recommend you use him as a healer. You're going to be taking little to no damage using him as a healer. Next up, guys, we have Amber. And usually I wouldn't put her up so high, but she is a Pyro Bow user, so she does put out numbers, and she gets the job done as a support unit. I've seen people build her as a main DPS. I don't really recommend it, but if you would like to, and you can, sure, you can build any of these characters as main DPS, basically. Just about all of them can be main DPSs. So if you want to use Amber as a main DPS, go for it. I've seen people do it. It's not impossible, and it's really cool. So Amber is going to be SS tier along with everybody else. Last person, Xingqiu, SS tier, man. His recharge rate is a little bit slow, but his Q ability and his E ability really do pick up the slack for that because they are so incredibly powerful. You slap the sacrificial sword on him and he becomes almost a god tier character. He's an amazing support, and he is without a doubt the best support character with Keqing. These two units function as one unit when you have them on the field. The reason why I don't use them is because I don't have Xingqiu built up yet, but when I do, you best believe I'm going to be pairing these two together. Well guys, that's about it. That's the tier list, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think it goes without saying that nobody can really disagree with this tier list because your character is on SS tier. I don't care who you're playing with. They're on SS tier, man. Every character in this game is broken, and this is basically what you want to see when you come and watch a tier list video. My last one did got a lot of hate, so you know what? This is what you guys wanted. This is what you guys got, man. We gotta improve tier list, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, let me know and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.